Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to be doing my week 8 NFL tier list after some pretty exciting NFL action this past week, but also having some blowouts as well. And so as you see here, we have 6 tiers this week. We have Super Bowl, Division, Wild Card, Meh, and Bad, our usual 5 tiers. And we have a special tier for a very, very special team there in Factory of Sadness. So, before we get started in this, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. So let's go get started with the Arizona Cardinals, who, after their win against the Chargers on Monday Night Football, they're saying it meh. They did get the win on a walk-off field goal, but it was just ugly. Very, very ugly. Kyler Murray had had a touchdown in that game running the football, and he did decently well, but yeah, it was just not a very, very encouraging performance. I mean, they're kind of a mediocre team. That's why they're there in meh. Not really good, not really bad. That's all I got to say for the Cardinals. Falcons. I mean, they're staying in division because them and Tampa Bay are the two best teams in that division, but man, that was a disappointing loss to the Seattle Seahawks by 20 points. Kirk Cousins did not look good, throwing 2 interceptions. Bijan Robinson did have a really, really good game, but got to be concerned about that defense and what happened there. So, yeah, not too good coming out of Atlanta this week. Baltimore, staying up here in Super Bowl. And yeah, they were able to beat the Buccaneers pretty handily for the most part. They did let them get within 10 points at the end of the game there. But still, they beat a really solid team in Tampa Bay. Lamar Jackson had an absolutely incredible game, throwing 5 touchdowns. Derrick Henry continues to be the best running back in the NFL this year. And yeah, this team is incredibly, incredibly good. Still need to work on letting teams stick around longer than they should. They kind of take the foot off the gas, so to speak, if they get out to the big league. But yeah, no, Baltimore is in Super Bowl tier. Next up is the Buffalo Bills. 5-2. Right now, they played a really solid game last week. I forget who exactly, but I think they played the Titans, and they dominated as we expected. So not really enough to move the needle for them up to Super Bowl, but they're definitely in division tier. And with the rest of the AFC East struggling, yeah, I think they're going to stay there. Carolina, one of the few teams that was going to be the Factory of Sadness, absolutely curb stomped by the Washington Commanders. And Andy Dalton looked bad. Bryce Young's probably still going to be bad. This team has no hope. They have no hope, and that's why they're down in Factory of Sadness there for Carolina. Next up is the Chicago Bears. Wild card. They were on bye this week, and of course they had to see the Packers and Lions do really well this week. But they're still a very, very solid team, but we're going to start seeing them kind of get challenged here next few weeks. Going to face better teams than they have been. So we will really find out who the Bears are as a team here in the next coming weeks. But still impressive in wild card. Next up, the Cincinnati Bengals. They were able to beat the Browns 21-14 in a very sloggy AFC North game, but they have been getting better as a team, currently at 3-4. Joe Burrow has been playing really good football of late, and I think this is a team that is only continuing to get better throughout the year, and that's why they're up in wild card tier. Yeah, not much else to say about the Browns. They are back in the Factory of Sadness. We thought they got away from it a couple years ago when they had Baker Mayfield, but Deshaun Watson has been an absolute bust for them. And he tore his Achilles, which might even be a career ender, and might be a way for the Browns to get out of that contract potentially. But yeah, the Browns are an absolutely terrible team. Terrible team. And so, yeah, they are deserving of that Factory of Sadness tier. Dallas. Staying here in the med tier. They're on bye this past week, but still, I do not believe in this team. This defense is absolutely terrible. We'll see when they get healthier how well they're going to do, but yeah, for me, they're still in meh for me. Moving up to wildcard tier, we have the Denver Broncos absolutely laying a smack down on the New Orleans Saints on Thursday Night Football. And that was probably the best game they've had all year. The Broncos defense is legit a top 5 unit in the NFL. So yeah, Denver is definitely staying up there, moving up there in wild card. I am really, really impressed with this team. Next up, we have the Detroit Lions, able to get the victory on a walk-off field goal against the Minnesota Vikings. They're staying Super Bowl contender. Right now, they're the number 1 team for me in the NFC. They have been playing absolutely insanely good football. Jared Goff is on a heater right now. So, yeah, Detroit doing really, really good. But they did have Jameson Williams get suspended for 2 weeks due to PEDs. So, a little bit concerned there with him. But overall, the Lions are good. Gibbs and Montgomery are an absolutely devastating duo. And a team I'm moving up from wild card to division, even though that they are third in their division, is Green Bay. Actually, I'm putting them above Seattle because they had an impressive win over the Houston Texans. Even with losing the turnover battle 3-0, the Packer defense absolutely shut down C.J. Stroud. The kicking game was actually good with McManus and Dan Wheeling, the punter. And Jordan Love, even though he threw 2 interceptions, came back and was unfazed, led the Packers on a game-winning drive. And so, yeah, Green Bay was super, super impressive for me, and they moved up to division tier. Houston, also staying in division tier. They were able to take advantage of the turnovers when they could. They got 16 points off turnovers, but their offense could not do anything, as I said in the previous segment about the Packers, against Green Bay's defense. And you got to be concerned of that if they play a team that has an aggressive defense like they had against the Vikings, like they did against the Packers. How much this offense will struggle. I think they will still be fine. They will be a playoff team, especially considering how bad their division is. But, yeah, Houston, I think will be okay, but I don't think they're a true Super Bowl contender this season. Next up, Indianapolis able to get the win against the Dolphins, getting 3 wins on the year. Anthony Richardson made his return to the lineup. Did not look as good as when they did under Joe Flacco, but still able to get the win against the Dolphins. So, up here in meh for the Colts. Bad. Jacksonville staying in bad. They did win a game this week. So, good on Jacksonville for that. They definitely deserve to win against the... Wait, no. Did they win? No, yeah, they won. They beat the Patriots. That's right. So, yeah, they're in bad, but still, they got their second win, so good on them. Next up is the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, Mahomes is playing the worst football of his career, and they're 6-0, and they got DeAndre Hopkins. How is this team not the number 1 in your power rankings? It's absolutely insane that they can get away with playing this bad of football. Mainly because their defense is playing incredible right now. So, yeah, Kansas City staying Super Bowl tier. Meh is the Chargers. I mean, that Justin Herbert had 350 yards passing. And all they were able to score is field goals. 5 field goals for them. And they lost to a not-so-great Cardinals team. So, I don't think this team is that good. They're definitely not bad, but they're not good either, so they're staying down in meh. Rams, meh. I mean, they beat the Raiders, which isn't saying that much, but hey, it's another win for them. They're getting healthy. Cooper Kupp should be back for Thursday Night Football against the Vikings, but there are a lot of trade rumors around this team right now, so keep an eye out for what the Rams might do here coming up at the trade deadline. The Raiders, they're a bad football team too. So they lost another game. They have no quarterback, but they have some solace in saying that Brock Bowers is a legit target. So that was a very solid draft pick, but Antonio Pierce I don't think is the right head coach for them. This is just a very, very bad football team. So Raiders staying there. Dolphins staying in bad. Tua should be back this week, even though I really think he should not play football again. But yeah, as long as Tua's out of this lineup and they have to do Tim frickin' Boyle as their quarterback, this team is going to remain bad. I regret taking Tyreek Hill with my first round pick this season because he's done absolutely nothing without Tua, which is insane considering that the players voted him the best player in the league. But as we see, he still needs a quarterback to throw in the ball. So Dolphins are bad. Moving down to the division tier, as I don't think they're quite Super Bowl contenders, is Minnesota. They lost to Detroit. They got their mouth punched in. But they were able to play a very competitive game. The only reason why I'm moving down to the division because I think the Lions are just that much better than them as a team. So, but Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit is going to be a fun watch down the stretch for the NFC North. But yeah, Minnesota down in division for me. New England, they're not going down to factory sentence because they actually have hope with Drake May as he looked pretty solid these past 2 weeks. But the rest of the roster is just absolutely atrocious. Especially they have no weapons, no offensive line. Defense can be good, but can be bad. But Drake May does look really, really good so far. So that is why they're avoiding the factory sadness tier. The Saints, bad. They got blown out by the Broncos. Derek Carr should be coming back here shortly, but it is not a good look. We thought they were going to be world beaters after the first 2 weeks. But it turns out they just got really, really lucky. And the Saints are definitely a bad football team. Another bad team, the New York Giants, only scoring 3 points against the Eagles. Not really that good. Daniel Jones got benched. They had to put in Drew Lock. And it is just absolutely crazy that they're still holding out hope for Daniel Jones after that terrible, terrible contract the team gave him. So yeah, Giants are in the bad tier. Also in the bad tier is the Jets. Because how do you let up 37 points to the Russell Wilson-led Steelers? I thought this defense was supposed to be good. And Aaron Rodgers, man, he looks washed. Absolutely washed through 2 more interceptions. Even with his pal Devontae Adams back, he couldn't do anything. Breece Hall did have a good game. Gotta give a shout out to Breece Hall. But man, this team is a mess. And they continue going down the way they are. This is a sad, sad end to Rodgers' career because there's no way they're going to bring him back after this. He's played absolutely atrocious. And I'm happy the Packers traded him when they did. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who are in the division tier. No, they're not. They're in wild card because I forgot about Washington. Impressive win over good solid win over the Giants. Saquon had a really nice rushing performance against his old team, 176 yards. Jalen Hurts didn't have to do much, and the defense made the Giants' life absolutely terrible. So, yeah, they're definitely there in wild card tier for me. Also in wild card tier, Pittsburgh. With Russell Wilson, are they a good offense? Because I watched that game with my wife, and the balls he was able to throw gave them a downfield attack they did not have with Justin Fields and really opened up their run game, and defense was deadly as usual. If this is the Steelers are going to get, that is going to be a really, really dangerous team. But we'll give it a few more weeks to see how truly good Russell Wilson is with the team and make sure it wasn't just the Jets absolutely falling apart. So, Steelers in wild card. Division tier is Seattle. Impressive win over the Falcons. And they're currently, I think, are the best team in the NFC West because San Francisco has been so inconsistent. I mean, Seattle has too, but San Fran is more injury-prone than Seattle. And they picked up a win against a pretty decently strong contender in the NFC South. So, Seattle, good win for you. Good win. Down in wild card, San Francisco. They just lost Brandon Ayuk for the year. Purdy looked absolutely horrendous against the Chiefs' defense. And even though they got 2 interceptions off Mahomes, they couldn't really stop the Chiefs at all either. So, it's just... yeah, this season is like becoming an absolute train wreck for San Fran, mainly due to injuries, but they just haven't played that good either. And you got me wondering, is time running out on Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco? Because this happens almost every other year where this team massively underperforms. So, yeah, they're in wild card for now. Also in wild card, I'm putting Tampa Bay, mainly because they do have that loss to the Falcons, and they lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin for a long period of time. That is a big, big blow to their offense. And you got to wonder why Godwin was even in the game with under a minute left as well. They did try to make a comeback against the Ravens, but yeah, the injuries just piled up heavy on that offense. So they're definitely down a wild card tier for me. Honestly, I'm going to move them down below Pittsburgh and Philly because I think those injuries are that devastating. Tennessee, yeah, they're bad. Nothing else to really say about them. They're just a really, really bad team. They traded away their best wide receiver. And, of course, it had to be the Chiefs. But, yeah, Tennessee is bad. And Washington. up here in division, absolutely blew out the Panthers, and that was with Marcus Mariota being the quarterback after Jayden Daniels got hurt. So, yeah, this team is legit good. I'm ready to say now, this team is legit good right now. And so for my power rankings this week, I have the Chiefs, Ravens, and Lions in the Super Bowl tier. In division, I have the Vikings, Bills, Commanders, Packers, Texans, Seahawks, and Falcons. Wild card, I have the Steelers, Eagles, Buccaneers, Bears, 49ers, Broncos, and Bengals. In the med tier, I have the Cowboys, Cardinals, Chargers, Colts, and Rams. Bad, I have the Jets, Saints, Giants, Raiders, Jaguars, Dolphins, Patriots, and Titans. And in the factory of sadness tier, I have the Panthers and the Browns. Thank you all so much for watching. This means a lot to me. Tune in tomorrow to see my NFL predictions for Week 8. And I'll be back here again shortly. Thank you all so much. Peace.